Hey, how is everyone today? Yay! I am super happy to be here. Although, today for me, the weather has shifted again where I am. It's gone chilly, chilly again. So I'm a little bit cold, really. That's basically what it is. I'm just a bit cold. But it's a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm going to get out and get some work done on myself. And then I'm going to get some exercising done and, just another day for me, which we always need, don't we? Isn't it nice to do that and to take care of yourself as well? I know I
That's right.
actually really, really, really like things like that. So that's a bit about me. Tell me what's going on with you. And um, what are we going to talk about today? In the comments, it's winning too much. That's what I said. That's what I decided to talk about today with you, which really is, um, it kind of falls under a lot of other things. The way I liken it is, uh, you know, do you always have to have the last word in a conversation? And do you always have to say that one-upmanship type of thing, proving that you're right in conversations, whether they're at work or whether you're at home? The dynamics can shift a little bit with that. And I know that you guys know this stuff really because you're all super smart, talented women. And you're definitely winners. So that and kind and what the stuff I'm talking about, it's not that uh, that slam dunk, yes, look at me go. I have won every single game. But there's that shift, or that energetic, that piece behind us that is always, well, I did this too. So, you know, I'm good. And that's that winning type of aspect. And while it can come through in the physical by what we say and how we act with it, um, I really just wanted to kind of give some tips about maybe just a little bit of allowing others to have their voice be heard without yours always jumping on top of it as well. And again, none of this is that putting you down for being who you are or anything like that. But it's a tip of suggesting of, maybe there are other ways of interacting with people. And then when that happens, you're more nourished and they're more nourished. And then we'll just take it at work as an example. They're going to feel more validated, especially in the case that you're the boss. So if you can allow others to feel validated with what they're saying, then that's where a a balance, that the equilibrium, and pulling it in with the energetics this way, that's where that enlightened equilibrium can just flow and be gentle, and really, it is a form, it's massive empowerment for each party, and massive, um well, just well-being and balance, or much more of a centeredness. Um, I use the word balance, but I will admit I prefer the word centered, because I can be like this and be off balance, but within me, I am still centered. So it's one of those subtle distinctions, and I just really like how that works for us in that long-term type of aspect with it. So, that's kind of a segue a little bit, right? Just a bit. Um, so tips for this. Let's say someone comes into work and you ask them, you know, how their day was or how their night was last night. And they proceed in telling you that they had a really rough night, kids were acting up, everything like that, that they're just kind of out of it today. Well, and your response, oftentimes when it's this winning too much type of thing, is, "Oh, well, my kids were terrible. They did X, Y, and Z, and this happened, and, we're just gonna have to power through work today and get this done." Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You had a rough day as well, a rough night. But one of those things of allowing others to have their voice heard is really looking at them and saying, "Oh, I'm really sorry. Is hope everything's all right, and let's get back to work." That type of thing, and it is a very subtle, and all the situations are very, very different. You have to know people you work with, everything like that. The main thing is that self-reflection of, do I always have to have the last word? Also asking yourself, did doing that previously, did that serve me? Did it do me any good at all to do that? And oftentimes we'll find that no, it didn't. It might have turned into one of those bantering pissing matches that people can get into. And you're the one that has the power to stop. You really, really are. You can slow down, you can take a couple breaths with it. We've talked about just those simple little breaths that you can do. And that's one of the ways to pull that mindfulness into everyday situations. Just stand there, take a moment and listen to them, and then instead of saying, "Oh, my day was worse," or anything along those lines, just show them that you care. And it might take a bit. People hear it differently and they're like, "Oh, that was weird." So it might take a couple times of those interactions, but they will shift and they will change. And as we know, we cannot change anyone else. We can only take care of ourselves with it, right? The only person we can absolutely 100% change is ourselves. So, it can fall under a category like that. Maybe things are still going to be funky. Who knows? But you are the one that has made that change. And that is amazing. So, you know what? I'm gonna suggest even, and I'm never much of a writer. I don't like writing things down. I will write little, l- a couple sentences type of thing at times just to help remind myself of, oh, I did this, or this is what I want to work on and change. Um, but I would suggest if you need to do long form of writing situations out with it, be my guest. Not how I personally like to do it. I know a lot of my clients do. Um, but really, beyond that, I just identify 3 or 4 times that this has happened, that you've noticed, you've slowed yourself down enough to notice that you have had to win in the conversation. So get a get a baseline for yourself. Just definitely do that. So those are my tips. Get a list going of when you have tried to prove that you had the one up on someone else in that conversation. And then ask yourself, was it worth it? Did you feel better afterwards? Did you feel, and you can also pull in, where did you feel it? Sometimes we'll hear those things from someone else and we'll go, yeah, but, well, that means you're feeling it in your shoulders. And if you're taking that big, huge, deep breath in, that means you're kind of getting your lungs, possibly your stomach involved in it too. And ask yourself, really, was it worth it? And then notice where it was in your body as well, because those are really big tips of what's going on with you. All right. So, kids, I have this thing that I have always been as a parent, I've been super proud of myself with this. So I'm going to pat myself on my back a little bit. But I see it so often with others as well. And with kids, I know that you're the parent and you have to set the guidelines and be firm and do all that, being the parent. That's what that is. But I firmly believe that if you want your children to grow into happy, well balanced, fully engaged adults, then allow them that in safe environments at home as well. They go to school now and they're always told what to do. Everywhere they go, they are told what to do. And in the long run, when they're adults, is there always going to be someone over them telling them what to do? Hopefully not. Hopefully they can kind of expand and grow and be these beautiful, unique individuals. Um, so my thing with it is to allow them to have their own voice, um, and not always. Of course, this is you are still the parent, and you're doing that guidance. But in safe instances, such as, would you like, I don't know, quick example, would you like macaroni and cheese for lunch, or do you want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Give them that choice. Just it's a small little thing. Something my son and I would do, I wanted him to learn the directions as well and not just left or right. I wanted him to know whether we were going north or south and things like that. And so we would hop in the car and I would say, "All right, these are the directions we can go right now." And at first it started out, "We're gonna go right." And depending upon where we were, I would say, "Okay, that's north right now." And then we would start to just little paths, and sometimes it would just be going to the store, nothing special at all, but there would be a couple different ways of getting to the store. And that really gave him that empowered feeling of, well, number 1, knowing the directions, and that has paid off a million times over for him in his life already. But having just that voice of, "Hey, I want to do this." So instead of me always having to win as the parent, I gave him some options with how he can feel validated and that he is winning with that also. Those are ones you have to guide them, you know, with it. Don't put yourself in dangerous situations. But that definitely was the first thing that I ever did with him to really give him the power. And how that's paid off when my kid just turned 28. So 10 years ago, he went on a school trip, and he was the only kid that could guide people around London because he knew how to read a map. So, and where we grew up, there's no public transportation to speak of. So we didn't grow up at all learning how to read public transportation maps. It's just it it's a sadness that I have for where I live, but I like where I live. But it's a very different, thought process of how to navigate using, public transportation or, anything like that. So when he was on this trip, no one else knew how to do any of that. No one knew how to get anywhere they wanted, so all of the kids flocked to him, and he guided them around London, and he'd never been there. So it has some other ways. I never anticipated that as being one of the ways that it would benefit him, but it did. And he came home and told me he was super thankful, that he could do that, and now um, he can travel and do all that kind of stuff, um, which is amazing, and he's empowered enough to do these things. So, I really invite you to look at the work aspect, ask yourself, "Was it worth it?" You can pull that into your family as well. Asking your partner, "How was your day?" And just letting them speak about it, giving them that power to share and give them that moment. And, maybe 20, 15 minutes later, something like that, then you can say, "Hey, you know what? I had a really rough day myself. Um, how can we work together through this so that you guys are on the same page as well?" But it's got to start with you. I know you can do it because you are absolutely amazing, and you'll get it. If you have questions, by all means ask. Um, you can always reach out. I have a couple things coming up too that I'm super excited about. Sunday, I have another mindful walk in the park, and you are more than welcome to join. And what else? I put together a Reiki retreat as well. That's pretty exciting. That one's in September. I have lots more information on that available. And, find me back here in this group and let's chat. Yay. So I'm gonna take off now. Thank you so much, and let me know how this goes. I totally, totally wanna know how this goes for you on your winning or your ability to kindly allow others to share their experience, and you embrace them, whether it's physically or just emotionally, and allow them to be. It's very empowering for you. All right, everyone. Much love to you, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Bye.